Hey, welcome back to the Ice Project. I'm looking forward to this one, actually. Done a little brief on them just before. But yeah, let's rip into it. Roll the intro.
Welcome to the Ice Project. Welcome to the Ice Project.
Hey, so welcome back to the Ice Project. I'm your host, Isaac. Really looking forward to this one. Got a guest in there. He's brought a little D-Rock with him as well, so little cameraman. It's pretty exciting, but please introduce yourself for my listeners that don't know you.
Hope you don't mind. I'm going to call you Ice because it's a bit of a habit.
Everyone does.
Yeah, so I'm Matt from Central Coast, Terrigal, real estate agent.
Anything else?
Yeah, well, I guess we were talking before about my story, which most people like.
Yeah.
So many years ago, I've been in real estate maybe 23 years now. And before that, I was like an underworld criminal down in Sydney and used to be involved in bringing a lot of the drugs into the country.
Really?
And I was a bouncer on Oxford Street, but ended up in that sort of world.
That's fun. All right, let's go early days. You as a kid, every story needs a beginning.
Yep.
Spider-Man got bit by the spider, you know what I mean? So let's hear your story from day dot.
Well, it's pretty simple. At Maroubra, grew up. I don't know if you've seen the movie The Bra Boys.
I have. I've seen that.
Yeah, all those guys. I grew up with everybody. And then about 17, a friend of mine said, "Hey, have you been into Oxford Street?" And I'm like, "No, it was a girl." And I was like, "No." She goes, "Come in with me." And I was like, "Okay." And no, I mean, we grew up with no parent supervision, no nothing. We just used to do whatever. Probably started taking speed when I was about 15, I reckon.
15?
Yeah, maybe a bit younger, but around then. And then, so she's like, "Come in and we'll take some pills and go into Oxford Street." So Tanya took me in there and took me to a club, and we were laying in the middle of Oxford Street, like off our heads, looking up in the sky.
15?
I was 17.
Oh, 17.
So I went into Oxford Street. And then that was it. I never came back. I just left the beach.
That's not even that far away, is it? It's 15 minutes, isn't it?
It's true. And then I sort of saw that world. It was like the gay scene back then, and it was like this whole new world opened up. And I met this guy called Steve, and he took me to City Gym. I don't know if it's still there.
Heard of it.
It's on Crown Street. It was the only 24-hour gym anywhere back then. So, I mean, it's 20-something years ago. And 16, almost 30 years ago now. And so I started training at this gym, and there was heaps of big guys there. Yeah. And I was like just this, 6 foot tall surfer dude, that surfer body. And I said to Steve, "How come they're so big?" He goes, "Oh, they take steroids." I was like, "Oh, never heard of them." And he goes, "Do you want some?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think so." And so I started taking steroids. He got me some the next week. And then I started taking them. But I could see in that whole world there was this undercurrent of big, scary equals respect.
Yep.
And the more criminals I got to know and the more underworld people, it was like this whole respect thing is like currency.
Yeah.
So I made a decision then. I wanted to be big, feared, and connected. I saw the more connections people had, the more were people were like, "Yeah, don't go anywhere near that guy. Call that guy." Yeah, so
you're just chasing that, were you?
I was. I wanted to go right down into it, and I never surfed again. I just left, and then got a job on a club called Biblos. I don't know if you've seen Studio 54. No, it's a good movie, but it's like that. It was like Oxford Street back then was like the place to go.
What time frame are we talking? Like 80?
Oh, there's too many drugs since then. I don't know the day. I don't know the day. I don't know the dates, but I was probably like 19 years old. So I'm 46 now. Yep. So the street was like lined with hundreds of people trying to get into these clubs. So there was Biblos, and then you go down to DCM after that, like John Abraham used to own DCM. And it was just pumping, like literally pumping. So I became one of those bouncers on that door, and then just started taking drugs, partying, training. And then soon enough over time, I started to develop a profile in that sort of world.
Just by standing over people, or?
Well, just becoming bigger and young and this sort of new guy. And then I went to get a tattoo.
Just to solidify it, eh?
Yeah, I went to get a tattoo. And my mate, so one of the rebels back then, he's in jail now, but one of the head president at the time maybe, or next one down, so his name was Harry. And I went into his tattoo shop and I said, "I want a tattoo all the way down my face. It's this one here, like around my back, down my shoulders, down my arms, but I wanted to go up my face, half of it. And he started doing it, and then he puts the tattoo thing around the back of my neck. And I said, no, I wanted to go up there. And he said, mate, you're a mate of mine. I'm not going to do it for you. If you want someone to tattoo your face, go somewhere else. Best thing that ever happened to me.
Fucking oath that is, isn't
Best thing. I was so determined to get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so over time I just trained and got more and more connected. And sure enough, I ended up becoming like a standover man in the underworld.
That's crazy. Just out of context for anyone that's just listening to the audio, you're quite a big dude, aren't you? I was surprised when you walked in how big you were. So you're 6'4".
6'4", yeah.
You're not scary looking. You
No.
bit of a good looking bloke. You wouldn't have picked it. But yeah, so you started to become a bit of a standover guy in the underworld. What's that like?
Well, it's good. Like I ended up becoming like about 130 kilos though. So I'm about 100 now. So I was like 30
shit. So
kilos
you
heavy.
were
I
swole.
was massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Bit of roid rage in there as well.
Yeah. And then, like I was really well connected because I'm sort of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's probably why I do well at real estate. I get on with people pretty well. So I was really connected to the Islanders.
Yep.
Your background?
Yep.
The Islanders, the Asians, and the old school criminals, like the old original ones. And I was sort of...
What's an old school original criminal in
Well,
Australia look like?
well, the people that sort of... a lot of them you wouldn't know they were. Like a lot of them...
They're the best ones, eh?
Yeah, they run the show. And so back then, there wasn't much Lebanese back then. The Lebanese come in later. But I was really well connected to everybody.
What's an Asian gangster look like?
Triads?
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Are they big here or were back in the day or still are or what?
What's that?
Were they big like here back in the day or?
Big. Oh, yeah.
Oh no, like in terms of like numbers and shit.
Yeah. They were...
You don't really hear about them too much, do you?
Not now. Back then, they were like really feared. Yeah, and they were probably the ones that... I was really happy I was connected to them.
Yeah, because I don't picture them being like big dudes or anything, would they? Just ruthless.
That ruthless.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, over time, that sort of just grew and...
Sorry, bring the mic to it.
Yeah, over time, that sort of just grew. And then I ended up becoming like a full-blown drug addict, steroid-abusing maniac, like I did. And I was out of control. And I got sent up to Terrigal to the people I used to work for and mine prostitutes for and all sorts of stuff. They sent me up to Terrigal to open. They were opening another brothel, and they said, "Go up to Terrigal. We want you to recruit some girls, and we'll connect you with the bikies up there." And off you go. So I went to a nightclub called Key Largo, and met with the guys up there. And then I met this girl that night. She comes over. They introduced me to a guy called Dino. He's still my best mate today. And this girl comes over and is like, "Hey, how you going?" Blah, 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 talking to Dino. I'm like, whoa, she's like out of control. And so I thought, I'm going to recruit her for me, not the brothel. So I asked for a number, and then later on she told me that the bouncer grabbed her and said, "I hope you're not going to give that guy your number." And she's like, "Yeah, it was her 18th birthday." She's like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. He said, "Whatever you do, don't." I've never been there before. "Whatever you do, don't. And please don't say I said anything," because he's the sort of guy that makes people disappear. Fortunately, she didn't listen, gave it to me, went home. Everything fell apart. Like some pretty major stuff happened down there. A couple of contracts taken out of my life. I was living in an abandoned workshop and under surveillance for about a year and a half. And things were happening. Like I was just going crazy, literally. And I thought, I rang Dino and I said, "Mate, I'm going to be dead or in jail any day. I can just feel it. Can you come pick me up?" So he picked me up. I left with what I was wearing. He put me out the back of his parents' house, and I stayed there for 9 months in a pretty...
Just kind of hiding sort of thing? Or
hiding, but in a drug psychosis. Like I was like in a pretty bad way. Like I used to just inject drugs all day, every day. Just
So let's strip this right back. So when you were at your worst, taking drugs, steroids, all that sort of shit, what did your day look like from like morning to night?
It just was one into the other. Like I'd hardly ever sleep.
Oh, really?
I was just injecting, I don't know if you know what's like pure speed, like base. So I'd be...
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I'd be injecting that all day, every day. And I was just literally like, I was just a machine. Like I would do anything. Yeah.
And just had a high drug tolerance as well?
Yeah. Like I went to, I took some drugs with this really hardcore dude one day and a mate of Dino's. And he brought this pure speed down that they'd made or whatever. and he would put his finger in and dab it and have a little bit. And this is not a drug taking manual, but he'd dab it and have a bit, and that was it. I mean, he was like one of the most hardcore dudes I've ever met. I poured like half the bag into this toilet paper and ate it, and he goes, mate.
Wait, so you put it into a bag and into
Toilet
toilet
paper?
paper,
So like
like made a little like wonton sort of thing.
Yeah,
and swallowed it.
Yeah, but like half the bag, so it would be like almost the palm of your hand full.
Yeah.
And he goes, mate, what are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, mate, you're going to kill yourself. I was like, no. And I took it. And he's like, no way. You joke. What are you doing? And then I did another one. And he's like,
just for the boys.
yeah. And he's like looking at Dino going, mate, this guy, what's wrong with this guy? But that's my drug tolerance. Yeah, I had a high drug tolerance.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah, but that's that world.
And add to that steroids in that as well.
Yeah. I was just out of control.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, I rang Dino, went up there, he put me out the back of his parents' house. I lived there for 9 months, and I was in such a bad way. I used to draw stick figures on paper, and I'd name him Duncan, and I was just drawing Duncan all day, every day, like in this full crazy drug psychosis thing.
Shit.
And then, and at about 9 months into it, I rang an ex-girlfriend in Sydney, and I said, Lise, I'm in a bit of trouble. And she's like, yeah, where have you gone? You've left the biggest mess down here. And I said, what'll I do? She goes, why don't you get into real estate? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good.
Such a random twist, isn't it?
She goes, and then I opened up the phone book, because there was like phone books back then. And I just rang everyone in the yellow pages up there, all the companies, and I said, do you have a job for a trainee? And no one would give me a job. I didn't have a car, didn't have anything. And this lady gave me a job in like a home office. Yep. And I used to get dropped to work by Dino every day, and I used to just walk the streets all day, every day, asking people if they want to sell their house.
Is that a good way of doing it, or is this the way you knew back then?
All I had to offer.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And then she put me in a caravan on her property, and I lived there for a bit, and then, never looked back.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. So, obviously, how long ago was this now?
I've been in real estate 23 years now.
Yeah, and obviously the door knocking to sort of where you are now, let's talk through that 20 years. Like, how have you evolved as a real estate agent?
Yeah, for sure. Well, after that, after 1 year in real estate, I ended up on Australia's Most Wanted, and then I had to go hand myself back into Sydney.
Yeah, what was that? So you've just seen yourself on TV, or someone's hit you up?
So I ended up being engaged to Karina, the girl I met at the nightclub that night.
Yep.
And then I got home one night, I caught the bus home, and then I was renting a room off this old lady. So I went from the caravan to this room in this old lady's house, friend of Karina's family. And I get home and the phone rings there, a landline, and it's Ray from the fish and chip shop in Killarney Vale. So Killarney Vale is like this tiny little country town thing.
So your fish and chip shop guys hit you up and going, you're on TV.
Yeah. He goes, hey, Matt, it's Ray. He was an ex-heroin dealer from the Cross, so we used to talk about stuff all the time. He goes, mate, I said, how did you even get this number, Ray? And he's like, don't worry about that. He goes, you've just been on Australia's Most Wanted. And I'm like, oh, really? Bugger. And like 2 minutes later, Karina's dad turns up at the front door, and her whole family, like they're all Mormons. Yep. So they were like 6 kids, adult. They sit around like on the Sound of Music on one of those big, long, never-ending lounges watching TV. And up they're watching Australia's Most Wanted, and up I pop. And then her dad turns up and is like, yeah, we got to talk. And I'm like, yeah. So anyway, went and handed myself back in, went to court. There was all this commotion. I had like 14 warrants out for my arrest and all sorts of stuff. And
what for, ranging from what?
Lots of grievous bodily harm, malicious wounding. Like I could never get pinned on drugs because I was always like...
Too smart?
Not really, just... I think they were just waiting to do that, but I'd left.
Oh, okay.
So, and then I went to court. Karina's mum came and testified. The old lady came and testified. They just gave these great stories how I've turned my life around, and the judge looked at me and she said, it was a lady, and she said, you should be going to jail for quite a few years, but I see some good in you. I'm going to give you a second chance. But I had to do community service for a couple of years, and then it took me 8 years to pay back the fines that she gave me.
Yep.
But she said, if I ever see you in here again, you'll be going away for half your life. And I'm like, okay, deal.
So if you get a judge if you get her on a bad day, or you get another judge, you could have been inside, couldn't you?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I've had so many little pivotal points where my life could have been so different. But it ended up okay. So I walked out of the court and I rang Dino and I said, I'm going to become Australia's most successful real estate agent. That's what I'm going to become.
That day, you said that out loud?
rang him. Yeah, I said, that's what I'm going to do. And I've never looked back since. Like, I've literally just committed to that for till now.
That's crazy.
And I am one of Australia's best real estate. Yeah.
How do they measure that? Is it
Numbers.
numbers? So how many houses you sell and shit like that?
Yeah, exactly right. So I worked for a couple of companies and I put everything on the line like you have with your clothing company.
Yep.
And then back then, and we started our own little business, and then that sort of grew. And then we changed to McGrath. I don't know if you know what McGrath is.
Yeah, I've heard of them, yeah.
So we're often the first McGrath franchise, and today we've got like 150 people that work with us, and that's 7 offices, and I'm the number 1 agent at McGrath, and yeah.
Fucking oath. How
So-
good.
And I have a car now.
Yeah. Off the roids?
Off the right sometimes.
So the transition you've done now, I started looking at your Instagram after made contact with Broccoli, which is a weird name, by the way. He's got a video guy. His name is Broccoli.
We love broccoli.
Yeah. Not many people do. Is that the reason why they call you Broccoli? So I started looking into your Instagram, listened to a few of your podcasts and all that. Kind of motivational now, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I think that's like out of the whole thing, there's been so many times when I wanted to give up. Like, and I know people listen to stuff and it's like I was homeless and I was this, and I'm like,
It's almost become cliche now. It's the rags to riches story, isn't it?
100%. And I try and avoid that. But I reckon there is this battle every day people have. And it's like this battle of time and pressure and also their expectation around where they need to go. So like yourself with this clothing company.
Yep.
Like you want to get to here. But I think so few people know how to actually like stay consistent to either lose weight or create wealth or build a business. It's hard. Like it's really hard.
And that's through the action too, because like you said, like the process of it's quite easy. So to lose weight, like you exercise and you don't, but like how many?
Don't eat sugar.
What's the obesity rate in the world? You know what I mean?
Totally. But it's a mental thing.
You reckon it's all mental?
100%. It's
Yeah.
a mental thing. It's because everyone knows don't eat sugar, don't drink soft drink, don't eat too much. Like everyone knows that. It's like in our business, in real estate, they talk about prospecting. Everyone knows, like call people, go and meet people. Like how many times do you need to go to a training session to hear, go and meet people and talk to people and build your business? Like that's sort of how it happens. But people don't do it because it's a mental thing. They're not attached to the outcome enough. Whereas when I walked out of the court, like I literally had no other option. Like it was either go back to where I was.
You did go to jail or
Yeah,
fucking make something of it?
that's exactly right. And that commitment has never, it's so deep inside of me. Like Broccoli works with me every day, and I reckon, and he would tell you, like I'm probably the hardest working real estate agent in Australia that I know. Like I work around the clock all the time because I want it so much.
What does that look like? What is a hard real estate
Well,
agent?
I don't let myself down is probably more what I'm saying. So it's like, I think it's really easy. It's like there's so much pressure on people these days. Like
From who? From on themselves or from
Yeah,
external? A bit of everything.
buying a house, like buying this big house and having a massive mortgage, and like I'm pretty set financially. I just drive a Land Cruiser. Like I don't need all the things, and it's like, but I really enjoy almost like the game of it. Like it's
So you're process orientated. You enjoy the actual
Yeah.
game, not so much what you get from it. Just
yeah.
fucking you're in it.
You're not going to be happier with a Mercedes S-Class if
Yeah.
you got this big loan on it, and it's like, you know, it's sort of like I've just come to realize that it's all about like you feeling content inside with what you're doing with yourself, not what Paul has over here.
keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think once you lose that and you're just literally trying to be the best at what you do, like I have this thing 31. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like 31 minutes, owning 31 minutes of health in your
Oh
day.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like lots of people are doing it now, lots and lots of people, because it's a chunk in time. You're not going to be the world's best athlete, but you own that chunk of time across a whole year. You watch what happens to your body and your mind, and also sticking to that commitment. Something cool happens. You get momentum.
It's funny you bring that up because I listen to a lot of podcasts and I've read a lot of books, and a lot of successful business people go, my business didn't start to thrive until I started working out every single day.
Yeah,
It's just, they said they can't explain it. It just sort of happens. It just sort of marries himself up, and then and you're process orientated, you end up just with more money in your pocket just by adding value to the world. You know what I mean? And like, I'm sure that's what you do. Yeah.
your vibration raises.
Yeah.
So it's an energy game. And when you think about it, So when you walk in here, how do you feel? It's this cool studio here.
It's cool, eh?
Really cool place. When you walk in here, how do you feel?
Yeah, all the time.
You're great because your vibration raises. Like bet you're excited, passionate. I can see it when I talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a cool podcast set up. You're going places. Something magic happens then. You know, like there's your energy naturally pulls things into your world. And the best way to look at it is when you're angry with someone and you're got this sort of whole vibe going on around you, watch how your day goes. Your day goes pretty bad. Have a car accident, you fall over, people aren't easy to deal with. There's not this marrying of energies very well. You're attracting exactly like you are.
Yep.
The key, it's just an inside job, this success game.
Gee, got me all tingling now at the moment, eh? Ready to go. So let's talk about, I've seen you're quite big on the law of attraction.
Yeah.
How were you introduced to the law of attraction?
Just step by step. So a long time ago, I learned about Brian Tracy. You're probably too young, but Brian Tracy was like this old goal-setting sales guy, and that just led one thing to another. And I always listen to those things about goals and about achievement and all this, and I was like...
That was one of my questions too, the goals one.
Yeah.
I listened to a podcast on that, and you're kind of anti-goals, or...?
Sort of.
Why?
Sort of, because I always used to think... Well, I was a practicing Mormon for a long time, and I used to sit in church.
Is that when your Mrs. Dad come over?
I had to join.
Stay with my girl, and you got to turn Mormon.
Well, they did. They said, no, they sent her to Queensland away from me. Yeah. And I was like, no, forget this. I'll just join the Mormon church then. And that's what I did, so that's how I got it.
Girls, man, eh?
Yes.
So there's a girl that's led you astray to Oxford Street. You've turned Mormon for one.
Yeah, for sure. There's many others. Yeah. So anyway, there's what were we talking about? Yeah.
Girls. Tip from this podcast: stay away from girls in trouble.
I used to sit in church, and I used to think, and this is not a religious thing or anything, but I used to sit there and think, people are praying for things. People are saying they'll get blessed if they do this. People are saying that, and then goal setting is saying if you write it down, you'll get it. And I used to think there must be more. There has to be more to this because, like, I believe in God, so I'm not sort of being critical, but I'm like, I don't think God goes, I was nice to that person, so boom, there's a T-shirt sale. I don't think it works like that. I don't know. I have no idea, but it's just the way I was thinking about it. And if I set a goal, if I write it, how many people go to Tony Robbins seminars and never change their life?
Plenty.
That's why the crowds are so big.
Yep.
Like people go back again and again and again. Ever wonder why? Like I look at it and I think, how many people actually change their life? Because they don't get writing a goal down is never going to deliver it ever.
It's a healthy start towards.
Start.
Is that what you're trying to say? That
Start.
It's a great place to start.
Yep.
Because I write down goals all the time. I've got a little thing in my wallet that I look at every couple of days, and I've hit a few of them already. And I kind of wish I started writing goals a little bit more when I was a bit younger, because I used to just sort of float about, and I was playing footy, and I just used to like half hope. You know what I mean?
There you go. Half hope. Exactly right. You're right. But writing it down is great. Like I've done it and I still do it. Like I write down a thing and that's it. But it's like,
my understanding from that podcast, you write down a macro goal, like a long term. Is that, yeah. So was it like 500 in a year? Is that?
Yeah. So I want to sell 500 houses in a year. No one's ever done that in Australia.
Shit, what's the commission on that?
Yeah. A bit. But think about this. 10 years ago, I wrote down I want to sell the highest selling property on the Central Coast. So I didn't go out and look for it. I just wrote that down. But then I had to become that agent that would bring the opportunity.
Yeah.
And then I've done that 3 times now.
Awesome.
So, but that's the thing. When I wanted to be number 1 in McGrath, from Terrigal was near impossible because I'm competing against... McGrath's got some of the best agents in Australia. I was writing 1.2 back then. The best agent in McGrath was writing like 4 million. So that's like 4 times the growth. And I was already like busting at the seams. It took me 15 years, but I achieved it, but I had to become that.
So instead of, say, the way I'm trying to understand this analogy is, so instead of like you want to sell the most expensive house in the Central Coast, you don't go straight to the central. You just sort of focus on yourself. You do you, and like attracts like, and that comes towards back to you. I
become that person. You know, it's like wanting to be wealthy, but thinking like poverty. Like it's the same. It's teaching your insides to be different, and then the energy of the world will actually orchestrate the opportunities. It happens every time.
So people, like, I've read The Law of Attraction and like Secret back in 2009. It's funny because I kind of believe in it, not wholeheartedly as much as you do. I believe in more action
Yep.
Orientated goals and like shit like that. But I remember the first time I read The Secret, and like the first thing they go, they're like, "Oh, next time you go look for a car park, imagine the car park,
Yeah,
it'll be
no,
there."
no.
No, this is funny.
Yeah,
I went to Westfield and the
It's
exact
right
car park I was looking, and I was like, "Holy fuck, this shit works! This shit works!"
Yeah,
And then
totally.
but then like when I was a little bit younger, I had a tendency to like focus on negative as well, and
There you go.
that's the opposite side of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck, like." I can get injured. I ended up having like tore an ACL, tore my Achilles, snapped my pec. So people that sort of like focus on like you can focus on good and get good. You can focus on bad and get bad as well. Isn't that true?
Yeah, totally. It's controlling your energy, then taking action.
What do you do if a negative thought comes into your mind right now? Like, how do you get rid of that?
It's fine.
People?
Just don't dwell on it. It's 16 seconds till it becomes moving. So
Is that a thing?
Yeah,
16 seconds.
16 seconds till it starts to get its own momentum. So when you think about something and then think about something and then think about something, you'll start calling it into your world.
Shit.
And if it's not that one thing, it'll be something that's similar vibration. So that's where it's different. So when you feel amazing, so my job in the morning is to make myself feel amazing. It's not to sit there and go, I need to be this part of law of attraction. It's to make myself vibrate in a way where you walk through this room and you feel like game on. That's how you need to wake up every day and own that space in time in the morning and keep coming back to that during the day.
Yep.
If you do that, you'll vibrate at a higher frequency, then go take action and you watch what happens. You'll actually take action in the parts that match what you want. So you'll meet someone, person will lead you to this person will lead you to that, and you keep doing that day after day, you watch what happens, your life will explode.
Geez, you're making me keen to go to sleep tonight. Just want to get up tomorrow, don't I? So let's break it down with the law of attraction. Everyone knows the law of attraction, and they think that's the only law in like the universe. Like let's focus on like the law of vibration. People don't really understand that one as well. So you've talked about it a little bit. Do you want to care to elaborate on it?
Yeah, it's like a vibration is like if you say a word, so say like love, it's got a vibration to it. If you have a thought pattern, it has a vibration to it. It's exactly what you said then about your injuries. You were thinking about the injuries or negative thoughts, sorry. You were thinking negative thoughts and you get injuries. Same thing. It's a vibration and you can so you're pulling like vibrations into your world every time. So if you think negatively about stuff and dwell on that, gets momentum, things will match it. Busted pec, sore ankle. If you know people who love drama, have you got many in your life?
They seem to find it, eh?
Their life is crap.
Yeah.
Their life is crap. Yeah, but the people who are just cruisy and like cool, like my house got robbed the other day. I left the keys out for one of my kids and went to Queensland, and then
So you can sell houses but can't protect them.
But my house, I walked in at 10 o'clock at night. A week later, my whole house was everywhere, and they just robbed the whole thing. And I was like, oh well, bugger, it is what it is.
It is, isn't it?
Go to bed. I'll deal with it tomorrow, and then.
Did you have a bed?
Yeah, I slept on the lounge, but
Well, they stole your bed as well.
Yeah, no. I just put a thing on the lounge and just slept on the lounge. But you know, you can get into that and get in all that energy around it, like, and that will just create more. So always remember, you're building the energy forward. You're building the vibration forward. So what I'm sending out is actually making the next space I'm going to live.
Awesome. I've read a little bit on law of vibration, and sort of a couple of analogies that they gave was like, you know, when you walk into a room and you can tell like there's been a bit of drama, you can just sense it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they say like there's vibration in everything from like a rock. So that's why they say when you go into the sea or when you go for a walk out in nature, like the law of like Mother Nature's like it's untapped because it doesn't have like humans in there, and you come out feeling good. Yeah. And once I heard that, I was like, every time I go for a swim and come out or like spend time in nature, you do tend to feel good, don't you?
100%. That's the best way to put it. Good and not so good. You can feel it. Just spend more time doing things that make you feel good. It doesn't mean, I can't understand. I'm going to use you as an example again, quickly. Because when I sat here and you talked about your clothing and stuff, you've got a sparkle in your eye. People go to work and hate their job.
It's sad, isn't it?
I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like, go do something else.
Yeah.
Like, you can't exchange enough money to spend half your life doing something you don't like. I can't understand it.
I say the exact same thing, and people, like, you'd probably get this as well. They're like, oh, you're lucky. Like, I hate the word fucking lucky.
Yeah.
There's no fucking luck in it, like, whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of lucky
Yeah.
enough to understand that luck's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And like people go to me, oh, you're lucky. You just have to sell clothes and make videos. And shit. I was like, I'm fucking packing clothes for 2 years for free. Fucking shut the fuck up.
Yeah, totally. But what kept you going though?
The fear of working for someone else. That was my thing. Fear of like you said, like waking up in the morning. When I was 18, 19, I started training full time with the Warriors, and I remember I sort of moped around training one day, and one of my coaches, John Ackland, he goes, "Look at these like poor fuckers over here. They're going to a job that they hate. You're doing fucking sprint drills. Like, how can you not be grateful?" And that's always sort of stuck with me, And anytime I do feel ungrateful, I drive to work, and when I hit the lights, I sort of look left and right, and like they're just zombies, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Oh, totally. Yeah, I was walking around a shopping centre on the weekend with my youngest kid, looking at some of the guys, man, they look miserable. Like, it's like, and I'm not judging, it's like, life's here to be, like, awesome. That's it. It's, like, here to be awesome. If you're not having awesomeness, even if things aren't going amazing, but if you're on track, it's the stuff that's not amazing that actually makes you more focused. So, but if you're doing what you think you're going to be successful at or willing to exchange your time for, it's like the whole lot's awesome.
Relatively, you are a success right now. I read a book on Tools of the Titans. Oh no, what's it called?
Yeah,
one of Tim Ferriss's ones, and it sort of really started getting interested in people's days and how they spend their days and tapping into successful people's days. So you're a success now. How does your day look like now from boom? No, actually start night before all the way up to let's say 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
What does your day look like?
Go to bed fairly early, like most people.
What's early?
9:30 if I can.
How do you get to bed that early? I can't sleep, eh?
Yeah, but this is the thing. You know how you see people say get up at 4? Like, you follow The Rock, you'll just be tired. Like, if you go try do what he does, it's like, it's just him. You know, we don't take it into account that people might have insomnia and they get up at 4 in the morning. Like, there's a guy called Glenn Twiddle, a mate of mine. He gets up at 3 in the morning every day. And I was like, how do you do that? You just got to listen to the rhythm of your body. Yeah. So go to bed at, what time do you go to bed?
12:31, but
Wow.
I get up 5, 6.
5, 6. Okay, so but that suits your rhythm.
But you see me smacking coffee flat.
Yeah. So I'll go up 5:30, go for a surf. I'm writing a book at the moment, so do a bit of writing, then into work, and my day's just like non-stop. I just chunk it. This 31 minutes is chunking for me.
So explain chunking for people that don't understand chunking.
Like my job is prospecting, dealing with clients, working with teams, all that sort of stuff. So 31 minutes, so let's say 30 minutes. 30 minutes chunks all through your day, doing what you need to do. Some tasks will move your business forward, or your health, or your wealth, or your life. Others will just be being busy. Yeah. You got to understand the difference of the two.
Yeah, I've found that in the past. Like, I was just being busy for the sake of being busy.
Totally.
Because I was a big Gary V. Like, I still love him. And he goes, oh, you got to work 16, 18 hours. I was like sitting in the office, but I fucking wasn't doing anything. I was just trying to make up shit.
Totally. I'm only interested in things moving my business forward now.
Yeah.
People around me do, like, I could carry a camera around.
Waste your time.
Broccoli's an expert at it. So get him to do it. And then, I've got like a few PAs around me, so they do all of the busy stuff, and I only want to move things forward.
Yep. That is smart too, isn't it? Just because we're at that point now, because it's only me. I've got a PA now, but we're sort of at that point now. I need to hire someone just because it's taking away like time where I can focus on my main things.
Think about what your main things are in the day. This.
Yep. New
business.
Yeah.
New business.
Yeah. About to go in business with my girlfriend too on another e-commerce business, so
okay,
I'll be pretty busy soon.
You will be. So if you really think about your role, and I think sometimes people don't think about their role enough. They're like, the busyness is there. They almost wear it as a badge. You talk to people these days, are so busy.
What'd you do?
But it's like, that's cool. Yeah, but what did you move forward?
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
It's true. So where you're at the moment, and how long you been in business for?
2 years.
2 years, critical zone. So for you need to be starting to think your day needs to be 80% full of tasks moving your business forward, and you'll accelerate over the next 2 years.
So to-do lists, you big on lists or not?
No, I don't really have to do lists.
Yeah, I'm massive on. I have to write a list, or else I just start drifting off somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Because I'm a little bit of a creative, like in my mind. So as a creative, your mind just starts to wonder. You know what I mean? And I think about 1,000. You'd understand this, And like for me, I have to have a list, and I write a list every day. And then if I there's about 3 or 4 things I have to knock off during the day, and if I knock them off, I can go to sleep like pretty good.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'm fucking up at night. My mind's just going. I wish I could go to bed at 9:30.
Yeah. I used to do to-do lists all the time, but now I just do it immediately. So I have a bit of a rule that if I don't do it straight away, it'll never get done. Because like on the way down here, I don't know, we get like 80 calls. So I literally just do things straight away.
Yep.
Yeah. Because as you get so busy to the point where you're literally exploding, I can't carry things to the next day.
Yeah, I'm shit at a lot of things too, and like just that little advice there just help you so much, isn't it?
Yeah.
You do it straight away, like your first part of your day, you just try and knock off all the like shit stuff straight away, or?
Yeah, but anything that comes in, I do it straight away. I don't write on the list. Like if I have to get this over here, do this, do whatever, I don't, if I don't do it then, there's probably like a 50% chance I'll forget it. And my whole business is on impressing people and being fast.
So how do you impress someone? Like as a
Be fast.
Be fast?
Be fast.
That's so true, isn't it?
Totally. They don't need anything else apart from nice
Speed.
and fast.
Do you reckon over time as we're moving towards a technology world, you have to be quicker and quicker?
Quicker and quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
They want it yesterday, don't they?
They do. And then you've got scale. So business success really comes with scale. So therein lies the challenge. So the more people that come, if their care factor isn't up to what yours is, it's like that's where people get stuck.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, because what built the business loses it a little. Like that same sort of attachment loses a bit. That's why people have trouble letting go.
You got my mind wondering. I'll start to drift off a little bit here. So last sort of topic I want to bring up, I've seen it on your page, university, and your thoughts on it. And I think we got pretty similar ones in this. But what's your thoughts on university? Because I've got a lot of people coming through. I come back from a footy background. Like people think we're in fashion, but I don't have a passion for clothing. I do like clothes, but I use clothes as a vehicle so I can make fucking videos and shit like that and help people. So what's your thoughts on university?
Even school, I think school's a real issue as well. Like if you look at my kids, I've got 6 of them. One's an awesome surfer, probably one of Australia's best surfers in their age. Broccoli does a lot of stuff with him. Yep. Terrible at school. Like I mean, so bad, terrible. My other kid, awesome rugby player, but wants to be an engineer as well.
Shit, hold on to him.
Yeah.
Is he the favourite?
There's a couple of favourites there, but you look at him, he needs to do engineering, so he has to go to university. I think it's really understanding, like, be real with yourself. Like, if you don't like school, you're not going to like university. Don't go hide in university for 4 years. Get out there, come and see Ice, knock on his door and say, can I work with you for free?
Don't do that.
Yeah. But can I work with you for free? I want to learn about clothing, marketing, business, whatever, if that's your thing.
100%.
Like, inside, doesn't matter your age, you're going to be getting little prompts like this, boop, 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 and it's going to be saying, you're interested in this, you're interested in this, you're interested in this. You just listen to it and go that way. Get out of school. Like, I'm not saying get out at year 9 or anything like that. Finish it, complete, and then go to life.
I find a lot of people do that sort of shit just to keep their parents happy. Obviously, you got 6 kids, so you'd understand that sort of pressure, but coming from your background, you'd understand the other side of it as well. So you've been able to be a success from University of Oxford Street, you know what I mean? So I'm big on that as well, and I get a lot of kids coming through and asking like, oh, like, do I need to go? I was like, don't ask, you'd know yourself, you know. And I say that to kids, and they go, oh, I can't wait to start a clothing business. I'm going to do a business degree soon. I was like, fuck, I haven't done shit. You know what I mean? You don't need to.
This business degree really interests me.
Yeah, that's the
mate. Like, what the heck is that? You can't learn business in a school. Yes, it's going to teach you about P&Ls. Yes, like, we have a really successful business. Like, to give you an idea, our nearest competitor sells about $230 million worth of real estate. We sell $1 billion on the Central Coast. So it's like we've worked really hard at it. My business partner is that way minded. He didn't go to university to understand business. He runs all of the business. I sell houses. To go to uni to learn about business, I get it, like I understand, but I don't reckon there's anything in there that business isn't going to teach you itself.
It's like going to a sex class to learn about sex, isn't it?
It is. You got to try it.
They start saying all these scientific terms. Like, fuck, where's that?
Yeah, 100%.
Can't find that. The way you find it is fucking by actually doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. But you got to understand what you're good at. Like, you know, you're good. I reckon you'd be great at people. Put you in a room, talking to people about your product and business and stuff, like, and converting them. Sales. That's what I do.
That's
sales.
what you do, yeah.
Or business, if you're that way minded, you only need to learn a few things, but hang out with business people. Maybe you don't need to go to uni. That's all I'm saying.
And I feel like I talked about this a couple of days ago. I call coined from Tai Lopez, the law of 33%. I'm hanging out, like you're splitting your time up into thirds. People on the same level as you, people like not below you, but people you can help. And hang around people that are smarter than you, and that's spot on. Like, if there's someone that looks like you, that's got the same background as you, there might be someone who's struggling with drug addiction now and goes, I want to be the number one. Like, you just need that one person you can sort of point to and go, oh, he's like me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you point to and just, and like you said, go door knocking. Is that how you got him?
Yeah.
Did he just come up and approach you?
My business partner?
No, Broccoli. Yeah.
He actually, well, yeah, he approached me. He sent something into me, and here we are now, a year later or something. He approached you. So that's the key to success.
100%. And I feel like those are the types of people that are going to succeed in the modern world, because you don't, like, people don't care about degrees and shit anymore. They just want people that work hard and willing to learn, and then all that sort of shit as well.
Nothing will beat hunger. If you're in your lane you want to be the hungriest, work for free, do whatever it needs to take, and you watch what happens. The world will open up for you. Fear, I reckon, I know it's out there and a lot of people say it, but I reckon I've lost a lot of opportunities because of fear.
Fear from yourself, or
speaking and this sort of stuff, because I'm naturally a shy person. So like, I speak a lot, but I've said no a lot over the years too. And I reckon fear it'll almost cripple your success.
it does. So you just say yes to a lot of
Now I do.
opportunities. Yeah.
But I had to grow into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. So we're gonna pretty much wrap that up there. But anyone that wants to find you, where can they find you? Instagram.
Sitting in your studio right now. No, it's like, Instagram, Matt Steinwade, 1T.
Yeah. Want to do a sales pitch here? Anyone want to sell a house on the on the Central Coast?
Anyone want to sell a house? Yes, I'll be there.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming in. I do really appreciate your time. You got a great story. You're already a success, but I wish you much more.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.